Jimmy, Universal Audio has its genesis in Uri, which was established by Bill Putnam, and his sons, after he passed, found his design notebooks.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and those notebooks sort of had the solution to every audio design problem that troubled them, and they've carried on in his image with Universal Audio.
And this is the Apollo Duo that we're looking at here.
So I've got a general idea. This looks like a thumping great big sound card.
It is a thumping great big sound card, in fact. It's basically 4 mic line, 4 line in, but then there's another 2 ADAT light pipe ports. So you can notionally feed 24 channels, maybe 26 if you use the SPDIF as well.
Okay.
You can clock it externally. It runs sample rates up to 192 kilohertz, which is blisteringly high. So that's the first thing it does. It's a great many input device, but for all of those inputs, there are of course outputs as well.
Right.
Combination of 8 analog line and some light pipe and some SPDIF as well.
Okay.
So that's the first thing it does. It acts as an interface for your computer.
Yep.
The second thing it does is you can use the software control panel to route various combinations of those signals from the inputs to the outputs.
Okay. So you can mix via software?
Well, I don't know that I'd mix via software, but this ties in very nicely with the third thing, which is that it runs the UAD2 plug-in set. Now, you get a couple of those included, and then you can get licenses for the extra ones you want, which is a pretty good way of doing it. You can get demos, you get 2-week demos on everything I tried, and that gives you things like the 1178 compressor and the NEED 1073, and you know, you can have a Studer A800 tape machine. And the interfaces for these are really nice. Like you load up the Studer and you see the reels spinning and you can change the tape speed and things like that. So you can apply those plugins to the inputs of the device. And then notionally, if you wanted to use this, in a live situation, you could actually use it to insert those plugins over analog channels.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
On a live mix.
Yeah, line in, line out.
It's not really what it's designed for, but you could do it.
Another use.
When you turn the thing off and on again, it drops whatever the plugins are, because obviously they're stored in the computer, and every time you run an instance of the plugin, it sends it into the machine and loads it up. But all the routing and all your gain and everything, that all holds.
Yep.
So even if you wanted to plug the thing in, live situation, load up your plugins on the computer, and you can recall sessions on it. So you could just recall the setup, it would load all the plugins.
That's nice.
Then you pack the computer away, and there's your 8 channels worth of live inserts, or more if you want to use your ADAT ports. But the third thing where it runs the plugins is you can apply them to the inputs as you use this to record.
Yep.
Now that seems like a weird thing to do. Sort of people would say, why would you want to do that? Why wouldn't you just put the plugins in when you're doing your mixdown? Well, the answer is, if you're doing a lot of tracks, you know, each instance of the plugin uses some DSP. So if you want to save some DSP power later on, you can apply the plugins to the inputs and record via them.
That's what I do.
And it's quite low latency, and so it's been designed to do a couple of different things, and I tested all of that sort of stuff, and I was quite happy with this.
Good.
I had a little firewire glitch, but I've had that using other DSP boxes, so I'm inclined to put that down to the machine and the firewire bus it's connected to.
Yeah.
What this managed to do is that when I removed the plugin that tipped it over the edge, this recovered. The other devices I've had the problem with haven't recovered. It's necessitated a whole reboot.
Yeah.
So this actually did quite well in that situation. But yeah, it's the Apollo Duo. There's a quad version as well, which is more DSP, a little bit more expensive. But yeah, there you go.